Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to the studio, my people. It is Jason Gooner, and we are back in the studio. And you know what time it is? It's another EPL match week in the books. So Jason Gooner is here on Jason Gooner TV to break it all down. The match review, week review show, where we reveal the predictions champion, the predictions donkey or donkeys. We have the match reactions, and of course, we check in with the FPL, see how Jason Gooner TV squad did in the various leagues. All right, so get ready. We are a little bit later than usual tonight, but I don't know any of my foundation subscribers, foundation members. You know, this was the start of the origins of Jason Gooner TV, some late night special. So we're just going back to our roots tonight, people. It is that time of year where the father of the year, myself, has a lot of activities with the kids. So tonight it was chorus winter recital. So went to see big daughter Gabby take part in that, sing some Christmas tunes, and you don't know, it was getting me in the Christmas spirit. You know, I've already been in the spirit buying up gifts, but yeah, we sing some Christmas tunes and give some thanks tonight, and yeah, we had to do that, and then you don't know, eat some dinner and chill out, and you know, all the vibes. And now we are here, people. But you don't know, this was an interesting weekend, and a lot of good matches. As a matter of fact, we don't want to break the trend. So let me drop a poll in the comment section, or not in the comment section, but let me drop a poll in the is going to basically ask a question. What was your match of the week? We have a lot of good candidates this week, people, but what was your match of the week? I'll get right to the comment section in just a moment. But first, you know, it's custom on the channel and the review show. If your side picked up 3 points this weekend, drop your threes in the comment section right now. Drop your threes in the comment section right now. If your side got 3 points this weekend, I'm just making the poll and see which game I'm gonna choose as on the best game for the week. As I said, there are very good candidates out there, so we're gonna pick one of them. Some good games, some good games. Drop your threes in the comment section. I've put a poll in the chat as well. Pick your game of the week. If you don't think your game is there, I don't know why I never put the 4 for Bournemouth, but it was Man U 4, Bournemouth 4. All right. Pick your team in the poll, and if you're going to have the time to hit the poll, then we should have the likes matching up with how many people vote at the very least, right, people? At the very least, we need to have it match up. You know, one thing when I rate them say if a stream simultaneous, like, right? So I have a portrait one going, I have a landscape one going. But the thing is, when I start a poll on one, why doesn't it just grab and go to both sides? After there, I make the thing again for the next thing. Why? Why don't I give me so much work, people? Why don't I give me so much work? I don't get it. People, as I say, I will get to the comments in a minute. Keep dropping your comments. Make sure I see those threes. If you collected the 3 points this week, I'm going to jump right into the fixtures in just a moment. Hopefully, you guys have your memory caps on, because we're going to break down these games as best we can. I did get a chance to watch quite a few of the games this week, you know. The one time frame that was difficult was I think it was that Sunday morning, where it was like 4 games at once. So that was a little tough, but I had a couple of devices going, so yeah, man, really watch World Cup football this weekend. Watch some Scottish League Cup. Didn't think I'd be watching that this weekend, but you know, when you're a Jamaican and your players are playing, you want to try to watch them. So I did watch Richard King and St. Marian against Celtic, Kieran Tierney, and Wilfred Nancy as well, former coach of Columbus Crew and I think Montreal before that. So yeah, it was a pretty good game. The Scottish style is very, very all action. I think it's a bit of a culture clash because Nancy is a very ball possession oriented coach from what I remember. And I saw a post match when he was talking and he was saying he would love for the players to have a little bit more composure. And you could see his frustration on the sideline. He was very animated. But yeah, congrats to Richard King for winning a trophy in Scotland in his first season. So yeah, I was watching a little bit of Scottish Cup action. I watched some French League this weekend, Marseille, Monaco. Watched some of that game. What else did I watch this weekend? I watched some Spanish League as well. Watched a bit of Italian League as well. I watched a little bit of the Roma game today, but not all of it. I was really glued to that Manchester United second half. It was crazy. Big up Jagans in a building from Shirley, a member. Salute to you, my G. It's a great way to support the channel. So if I see you in green when you make a comment, then I know you are supporting in a big, big, big way. Joseph Brown in a building, another green member of the channel. We really, really do greatly appreciate it. And if you never know, it's just $1.99. The join button is somewhere in the channel, somewhere in the description, or it's somewhere. There's a big button that says join. Just click it, and YouTube will show you the way. Big up to you, Lamar, in a building. Yeah, man. Check in for the 2 area them and drop 2 likes. That is it. Big up yourself, Lamar. It's Shirley over there. What about 4 in the morning now? Up. Apache in a building. What go on? Boy, Apache. You know, go on as bad this week. Yeah, man, make them know, Joseph. 3-point collectors, Curtis Jones FC. Yo, man, I tell you, I know some Liverpool fans will hate Curtis Jones, man. I'm going to put the Fulham score wrong. You see what happens when you rush? You see what happens when you rush? So which one am I do wrong? That mean upon the landscape one then. Come and do that one the first. Jaja. Burnley 3. See there? Idiot. I don't think I can change it, once I do it, that's the problem. Channel, might as well end the poll and do it over though. I'm not bother. So yo, for one of them it's correct, but people know. 3, yeah man, Forest from last season. Joseph said Forest. Change the Fulham score. Yeah, I can't change it. Harry Wilson, great pickup for me. I don't know why I never get him in FPL. I'm such an idiot. In my draft league, I get him in a 1 league. And the other league, I never get him because I hold on to some people like an idiot. I know I can't get him this week because somebody else will grab him before me. I'm sure. Why? Real Madrid versus Alaves, Rodrigo back to scoring. Yeah, that's what, 2 games in a row? I know they scored the game before too. Against City. Yeah, man, King win a trophy, man. Big things, big things. All right, so people, when I hit, quite late, and I don't know, I usually want the show run for a good 120 minutes, but boy, tonight, I don't know if we're going to reach so far, but let's get down into the football. Why we are here to discuss some football. It never gets old, something that I could do every single minute of every day. And that is why we make these programs, because it's just a joy. It's a joy for me to talk about the football. So, like-minded people, tune in and let's get going. All right, so this was the first game. There were two games that kicked off in the morning. Chelsea and Liverpool had opponents. They were hosting Everton and Brighton, respectively. And first game we're going to talk about is the Chelsea 2-0. As you can see, the goal scorers in the first half were Cole Palmer, back on the score sheet. It's been a long time since we scored in the Premier League, but he got a goal in this one in the 21st minute. And Malo Gusto, who I think, honestly, when you look at this team, there are players going into this season I always knew. Chelsea, attacking-wise, midfield-wise, very, very strong, right? Maybe in the midfield, you could say maybe they're a bit top-heavy. They don't have much depth. But as long as that midfield is fit, they're going to be formidable. Attackers, people maybe laughed at the fact that they got Garnacho, Gittins, but I feel like those guys were just there to add to the depth. I think the youngster from Brazil, Estevao, still being underused in my eyes by this coach. And then when you factor in Cole Palmer, Pedro Neto, João Pedro, very, very formidable, very good players. The Liam Delap move hasn't really worked out the way they would have liked. But I don't know if it's the end of the road for him. I saw enough when he was at Ipswich to suggest that he's a better player than what he's shown so far. So I'm not going to say, it's a total dud for the Liam Delap thing. But I always knew that Chelsea's problem is in the defense. But I think a part of the reason why they have been in and around this top four this season and, getting results over Barcelona, having some really good results, just in the Premier League in general, is some defenders this season have stepped up. And I think 3 of the 4 on the back line, and you should really include Fofana as well. When he has played well this season. But Malo Gusto, Chalobah, and Cucurella, all 3 of those players have really turned around this defense of Chelsea. And if you look at Chelsea's recent results, when they don't have good results, it's just when the main defenders don't play. When Tosin is playing, problems. When Badiashile is playing, problems. So they just need to get some more bodies that are competent around there, and I think they'll really have a good side and a good chance to, be in and around the Premier League conversation. Just being honest, not my team, but I have to call a spade a spade. And Roberto Sanchez, I think, rightfully so, he's been ridiculed since he's been at Chelsea. But I think you can pretty much look at from towards the end of last season through the Club World Cup to right now, he's been one of the better goalkeepers in England. And I think because he has this, record but I can't even call him highlights, lowlights, and just making terrible mistakes, which he still has in him. And I think that's the reason why you can't put him at this elite level as a keeper. But when it comes to shot stopping, he's elite as a shot stopper. There's no question about it. So, it's just that that's not the only factor of being a goalkeeper. When he gets it right, though, he has the ability with his pass, ridiculous range on his passing. We've seen it this season where he's set up goals from his ball out of the back. But he does have the mistake in him, and he'll have to just do what he's been doing lately, have that happen much less frequently, and he'll be okay. No, Chelsea in this game, I thought, the 2-0, I wouldn't say it flatters them, but Everton didn't play badly in the game. I thought they had spells where they maybe deserved a goal. But again, Sanchez was up to task and the rest of the defenders as well. And Reece James in that midfield area is really opening up my eyes, because I'm wondering if Thomas Tuchel is looking at this and wondering, is that where I need to play Reece James for England? Because to be totally honest, since that Arsenal game when I saw him play up close in that midfield role, he's ridiculous in that role. When it comes to him being able to close down space, covering the ground, he's a reliable tackler. And then his passing range out of midfield is ridiculous as well. So, and he's technical enough to play in tight space. So, I mean, he pretty much can do everything you would want out of your defensive midfielder. So, I'm wondering if that's something you might see for England. That could be something he might look to. He has Declan Rice there already, but if you play Reece James in there with him, that frees up Declan to maybe do more in the midfield. But maybe he just sees Declan as that fulcrum in that midfield. But enough of England, tactics and everything. But Reece James to me look impressive in that midfield role. Garnacho, not his best day. I think he'll want to forget this one. Missed the most empty goal ever in this game. One thing that I do think was a really, really bad thing to happen for Everton was Dewsbury Hall getting injured early in the game. I think, Grealish and NDI, rightfully so, get a lot of the plaudits. But I think if you look at the past month or so, Dewsbury Hall has really been the difference in Everton starting to pick up more points. He's really just been really clinical in front of goal, very good setting up, creating opportunities as well with his passing and his vision. So yeah, he was a big miss for them, I thought, in this game. And yeah, with Everton, the main problem with them, they have two strikers, Barry and Beto. And I was telling a friend of mine this weekend, I don't think both of them add up to one. So, that's a real weakness for them. I look at somebody like Calvert-Lewin scoring goals. I think four games in a row now he scored. I can just picture him in this Everton team now, and it would have probably been a huge difference. Now, of course, you can't really rely on Dominic Calvert-Lewin because he scored in four in a row, but then he might be out for 4 months soon. So, I understand why he's not there, but just looking at what they have been able to put behind the striker in this team, if you put a quality striker in front of those three, I'm telling you, you're going to create goals and you're going to score goals. But I think on this day, Chelsea just in the end was a bit more superior. Just overall quality that they have in the final third pretty much made a difference. And Gusto was involved in both goals. He played a very nice pass to Palmer in between about two defenders, and Palmer, once he gets into the box on that right hand side, pretty much he's about 90%. He just gave Pickford the eyes, played it near post, beat him there, and then really good work on the wing by Pedro Neto to set up Gusto for that second one. And really and truly in the second half, it was very, very controlled, I'll say, by Chelsea, and they were able to have a professional performance in the end. People, make sure you guys are smashing up the likes. We need to run up the likes on this video. All right. So these are the overall stats of the game. Chelsea, as you can see, good value for the win, 2.20. Did give up a XG of 1.03 and did concede 3 big chances, but they were able to create 5 of their own. They had the shot advantage 17-11. More corners for Everton on the day. Chelsea with a lot more passes attempted, and that makes sense. They had more possession. Only one yellow card dished out in the game. That went to Fofana in the second half. 5 shots on target to only 2 for Everton. Everton did hit the woodwork on the day. Let's see. More time spent in the Chelsea defensive third. That's interesting. 2 big chances scored. They missed 3. Everton not able to convert any of their 3 big chances. And again, those strikers don't add up to 1. See the duels on the day, even though Ndai did miss 1-2 in this one. Final third entries, Everton actually had more, 58-44. But Chelsea, when they got into that final third, more often than not, were able to get off a shot. Can I say the same for Everton? You see, good stats for Sanchez, 0.73 goals prevented. Pickford in the negative, that's never a good sign there. Sanchez had 1 big save. You see the error leading to a shot by Everton. No errors by Chelsea. And that to me is the sign of how Chelsea played. And typically when the starters, as I was saying before, play, those errors are going to be a lot less than if that second string defense is in the game. And with all the games that are played, Maresca has kind of been like the opposite of Arteta when it comes to rotation. I think he rotates a bit too much at times, especially with his defenders. But I guess the consolation prize to that is they're not all injured. So there's that. So uh, Chelsea got the win over Everton. These are the individual, match ratings. Gusto was the one that got the player of the match. Makes sense. Team kept a clean sheet. He was involved in both goals. So more than likely he's gonna have the highest ratings, which he did. Cole was up there as well. Neto, Fofana, Chalaba, those were the highest rated, plus the goalkeeper. You see on this side here, Everton, the two midfielders ended up with the highest ratings, Garner and Idrissa, who was returning from a ban after his ridiculous red card for fighting his own teammate. But NDI, he had been playing really, really well and had a rough outing in this particular game. Did hit the woodwork, was unlucky there. But yeah, just didn't have the best of games, ground duels. He didn't win that many. And just wasn't able to influence the game like he has been. No key passes is a key one for me. He has been on picking that lock from time to time. Barry, coming off of a game where he did actually do something in front of goal. This one just didn't really get involved enough. Only 11 touches in the entire game. And Beto, to be honest, looked much more lively when he came on. Played much less time, had 10 touches. So yeah, just not getting enough out of that striker position. Alcaraz wasn't able to stake his claim when he came on. Didn't have the best outing either. And Chelsea were just a bit stronger in those duels on the day. Tarkowski, 6.4. Miss a big chance. Pickford with one of his worst days. Struggling. England #1. O'Brien. Struggle defending. So yeah, these players had been on a good run, but Chelsea definitely proving superior on this particular outing. And Cole Palmer, he's back pulling the strings, got 58 minutes in the tank. Good outing for him. 2 key passes. Can tell that he's still not quite there, but in flashes and moments, just looking outstanding. Malo Gusto definitely having his best campaign for Chelsea so far. A goal and an assist, so very involved defensively, solid on the day. 2 key pass, 90%, very good. Only lost the ball 7 times. As a right back, that's impressive. Usually that's something like maybe a central midfielder, deep line midfielder might have those stats. That's very good, the accuracy. And like I said, in the second half, it was just about control for them. And they were able to do so for the most part. And, whenever they lost that control, Sanchez and the rest of his defenders came up big. I can remember a huge block by Chalaba, point blank, at one point. Yeah, man. So let's move along to the next game. Big win, 3 points for Chelsea. So all you Chelsea fans are open to drop the 3 in the comment section. Let's move on to the next fixture. And this game was going on simultaneously, and it was the Hugo Ekitike show at Anfield with a brace in the first minute and in the 60th minute. That is how that one went for Hugo Ekitike. Now, of course, to start the game, there was no Mo Salah again, but he was on the bench, and he was able to come on relatively early in the game. Joe Gomez had a eventful first 16 minutes as he was the one who got the assist for the initial strike by Ekitike, and that goal came after about 45 seconds, and it was really quite a strange one because Minte has the ball, being pressured in his own half by the corner flag, and he's a left-footed player, and he I'm not sure. It definitely didn't clear it the way he wanted to. It didn't get much distance. It just kind of almost worked out to be like a cross-field pass, and it fell to Gomez's head. He was able to nut it down in the direction of Ekitike, and very good touch and finish. Brilliant execution, to be fair, by Ekitike, and the goalkeeper had no chance off the underside of the crossbar to make it 1-0. No, after that, I thought that Brighton had a good response. They did play some decent football once they went down, but once Liverpool rode the initial wave of the response, and I would say it kind of coincided with Salah coming on. Gomez had to come off after 26 minutes, not feeling well, looked to pick up an injury, and really and truly, I thought that was the turning point in that first half when Liverpool kind of took back the control of the game, and Salah had, arguably one of his better outings since this whole, well, probably his best outing since the post-match interview that he gave. And when he came on, he looked lively, he looked in the mood, and it was surprising that slot went for him first, but all he really did was drop Soboslai back into that position and kind of move around that midfield a little bit. Well, not really move around the midfield, just drop Soboslai to right back and put Salah at right wing. Um, and I think, Salah was definitely effective on the day, really, really lively, setting up chances. And, Ekitike definitely did his thing as well in this game with the two goals. Second goal coming from a corner struck by Mo Salah at the back post. Really, really good coordination with the runs as well. There was a multi. It was kind of, it reminded me a bit of the Arsenal, in that the initial movement of everyone was towards the near post. Konate looked the most likely to be the target, and he really took a lot of attention towards that near post. When it was swung to that back stick, there was one other player, McAllister, whose literal job was to just shield that back post player from being able to back up and jump. And Ekitike with a free header didn't made no mistakes with it, with a very clinical header. Now, I think Liverpool fans will probably be happy with the 2-0, but I'm sure, any Liverpool fan that really scrutinizes the performance will say it was a bit underwhelming how they ended that game off. And it was almost like kind of surprising that Brighton did not find a goal in that last part, at least to make it interesting. They just could not quite get one over the line, but they played some good stuff towards the end of that game, and Liverpool really didn't have much of a threat towards the end of that game. But it was a 2-0 win nonetheless. You see the stats were 50-50. You see the expected goals bang on each other, 1.9 to 1.89. So, Brighton, like I said, should feel hard done by not getting anything on the score sheet in this game. Both teams created 3 big chances, 18 shots to 14. You see the saves there, corner kicks, passing very, very similar, almost the same exact amount attempted. 2 yellow cards for Brighton, 1 for Liverpool. You see the shots on target, 4 to only 1 on target for Brighton. They did hit the woodwork. Big chances, scored 2, and they did miss 1. Brighton not getting any of their 3 big chances converted. See the touches in the opposition box favored Liverpool. Final third entries favored Brighton 62 to 45. And you see the accurate passes favoring Brighton as well. Duels, Liverpool definitely had the better of those on the day, and the dribbles were extremely successful for Liverpool as well. You see the crosses, not many crosses for Liverpool, quite a few for Brighton on the day. Let's see, tackles, interceptions, big saves. Verbruggen in the negative, Alisson in the positive. That's always a good sign for one of the teams. 31 clearances, wow. So they did a lot of defending in that second half in particular. As you can see, they did create a couple of big chances in that second half. There was one in particular. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, blue. Yeah, this Matoma chance right here. Should have done better. And Gomez from point blank hitting the post. Can't believe that. And then man get another big chance. The Gomez really should have scored, boy. Well, Liverpool 2-0. It was panic stations a few weeks ago, but not bad. Another result. And when we look at the table, people will say, well, if Liverpool gone through the crisis and they have turned the corner, they didn't put themselves in the worst position in the world. They can still make a run for it if they find that form again. But 2 goals scored on 0.8 expected, so that's very clinical from the striker. 2 shots on target, 2 goals. Efficiency, 4 recoveries, 1 clearance. Very good on the duels in the day. So a good overall performance from Ekitike. Isak did come on for him. Verts played some good football on the day. And Konate had one of his best performances of the season at 8.0. Solid as well. 8 for 9, 2 for 3. So winning a lot of his duels on the day. 7 clearance, 6 recoveries, 2 block shots, 2 interception. So definitely not successful on his tackling. 1 for 5. That's kind of low. But yeah, Konate had a good game. Defense in general, I listened to. And Liverpool were able to get the result. Most players played well. McAllister had the lowest score, but he should get an assist for the screen and the goal by Ekitike in the second half. But they don't count. They don't count those. They don't count those. But Salah, he was a terror, like I said. Came on in 26, played the rest of the game. Couldn't finish. That was his main problem. But definitely in terms of creativity, chance creation, he was on point. Messed up a easy chance though towards the end of the game on account. I just played the pass way too hard. But 5 key passes in his cameo, that's very, very good. What you want from an attacking wide player, If you can't score a goal, definitely create openings. But Salah, yeah, big performance. And it was good to see after the game, he went around and they were singing his song and everything. And um, I never thought for a second that most diehard Liverpool fans would be. I mean, of course, they probably would have not wanted him to air that out in public on the interview, but at the same time, I don't think that is going to, change how the fans themselves feel about the player, because he's just done way too much for that club for it to even go so. All right, Burnley Fulham. That's the next game we're going to talk about, but let me check in with the comment section real quick. Battle of the Scrub Strikers and Hugo shining. Yak and Sesko scrubbiness can't change. That's interesting, because when I looked at the totals, right? I think Eketike got how much goal now? Let's see. I'm gonna look upon all comps. I'm not gonna just say prem. I'm gonna look upon everything. So Hugo Eketike, right? Career. So I'm gone 7, 8, 9. I'm gone 10 in 22. No, 10 in 23. Right? 10 goals in 23. So can't I just compare player? Or I can't do that. Thought there was a compare button. Why is it not there? Oh, I think this is it. Oh no. Damn. Well, here we go. All right, so compare. So we'll do Yakares first. Victor. Yo, why me can't see what I go on here? Yakares. Holande. So why them have? There we go. All right, so let's see. So I can't do all counts. Good. All right, so the Prem 7, so I'm going 4. So I'm going 4. All right. And then what else am I play? Champions League. Well, we know Eketike gone 10. This man gone 6. Okay. All right, you know what? I don't like the layout like this. So I can't see everything. So I don't like that. I could just look on your careers. All right, your careers, right? Career. So I'm gone 6 in 19. My boy gone how much? 10 in 23. All right. All right. Who else gets signed for money? João Pedro. João. João Pedro gone 5 in 20. Who else get buy for money? Isak. I feel bad looking at Isak, you know, but 15-2. All right. Who else get by? Sesko. 13-2. So really and truly, Hugo outshine everybody. Everybody. But even though my boy looks scrubby, you know, he got 6 goals. He better than everybody else. That was Hugo alone, brother. Bless up, Float. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Yeah, he did do that, but he did a whole lot of other good things too. But he missed a clear goal for true. Like clear as day. And I don't remember the other assist you're talking, but I remember the one on the counter. My gosh, that was horrible. Next up in the building. I already start with Demo again. Yeah, man. Curtis Jones was easily man of the match. Yeah, I'll give Curtis man of the match when he come on and play 10-minute Demo. Stop it, man. But Curtis did play good in the game, though. Leave people on their thoughts. Mac 10 was garbage. Yeah, he was the worst player on the field. That is true. He just hasn't recreated that form like all season, you know? Hasn't recreated the form from last season. Grav either, to be fair. But Grav has been better though than Mac. Salah greater than Slot, yeah. I mean, you hated Slot. When the man win the league, you know, like the man. It's almost like Slot made you not enjoy the title as much. But it's a Slot for cut. I'm not going away, brother. Your career is indeed you. Yeah. It's not pleasing on the eye. I mean, we have to be honest. It's not very pleasing on the eye what Gyökeres does. All right. So this game was a really good game as well. Burnley 2, Fulham 3. I have it in the poll incorrectly, but you don't know. Fulham did win the game, and it was the Harry Wilson show. As you can see, he got a 10 on sofa score, 2 assists, and a goal. And Smith Rowe continued his rich vein of form of late. Getting on the score sheet. One thing with Smith Rowe, I mean, he just knows how to find goals. Like he's always been that way. Even for Arsenal, like you look back and you say, oh, he had 10 goals this season. Where did they come from? And it's just he just knows how to position himself inside that box. Timing and runs is very good as well. So he's very, very good in terms of getting on the end of things. Chukwueze, I was calling for him, coach. Telling you, Marco Silva, if you watch my show, which I'm sure you don't, but if you did, you would have heard me asking you why Chukwueze can't play more. Because every time you brought on this guy, he would create like 2, 3 chances in 10 minutes or 5 minutes. And finally getting the respect now. See him play the whole game, never even come off. Had a very nice ball to Wilson for his goal, the third of the day. But Burnley, I mean Scott Parker. Look, I have a lot of time for this guy. I know he's already been a manager before, got relegated, but every time I see his teams play, I like how they play. I like how they play football or how they try to play. I don't know if he'll ever get the opportunity, but I feel like if Scott Parker could have just get a team with a little more talent, I think he would do well. I really do. I know him get some big beating in the Premier League, um, and get relegated, I think, a few times now. But I mean, honestly, look at Burnley's squad. I mean, yeah, they're probably gonna fight relegation. I mean, there's not much on that starting lineup that you'd say, okay, yes. Ugochukwu is one with some pedigree because he came from a bigger club. Didn't really quite make it there, but he's been playing well this season so far. He's popping in with a lot of goals here and there. Hartman got that low score mainly because he was at fault for, I think, was it the first goal? Yeah, for Fulham's first goal of the day was from a corner. Tete with another effective screen, but really Hartman didn't get screen. He just missed kick, a easy clearance it looked like. But Harry Wilson, the technician, again just found that gap and was a low driven ball, and you could see it was set up for that as well because Tete screened the player that would have blocked it out from Smith Rowe. He made the late run, arrived at the perfect time, opened his body, and it was 1-0. Then they did go get an equalizer. Ugochukwu scoring a really well worked goal. Colin, the captain, playing a nice slip pass through, and it was 1-2 touch, and it was 1-1. Second goal, Harry Wilson again involved. He was on the wing, got a cross cut out, got back on the ball. A great over the top pass by Anthony Robinson, who is back fit, and it was clipped neatly to the far post. And Bassi, if he's near a ball in the air, more than likely he's probably going to win it. And he was there to do so at the back post and nodding to a somewhat empty goal at the back post. And Bassi made it 2-1. Then on the resumption, again, Burnley played some decent things. And right in a spell where they were playing well, Harry Wilson on the counter really against the runner play. Good work down the left. Chukwueze just waited till the right moment to slip it across in behind that final line on that top where Wilson had just stayed back a bit, and he was able to take a touch. And once he has the goal opened up on that left, probably going to score. And he was able to use the defender as a shield, curl it around him. I think that was another one in the side netting. Harry Wilson, clinical, and that made it 3-1. And it looked like it was going to be smooth sailing, but Burnley, credit to them, they kept pushing. They were probably the better team to end off the game from, I'd say, about the middle of the second half onwards. And they did get something for their good spell, and that was a goal at the back stick to make it 3-2. And, without some good goalkeeping, solid defending towards the end, Fulham looked like they could have even conceded the equalizing goal, but in the end, they were able to hold that lead. 3-2 victory, very good game. You see the expected goals, both teams had a nice high amount, so there were chances and half chances all throughout. 5 big chances created by Burnley. I'm sure that's probably a record for them this season. I don't know that because I didn't look it up, but this is a team that usually get 1 big chance a game for the most part, maybe 2. They outshot them 16-6. You see the saves. Leno was a beast. 6 saves on the day. More corners for Burnley. More passes for Burnley. Scott Parker teams tried to play football. 8 shots on target to 4. So they definitely had a lot of chances, way more than normal. You see the block shots inside and outside. 3 big chances missed for Burnley. That was the issue. 2 chances, big ones created by the winners of the game, Fulham, and they were able to convert both. Um, 25 to 15 more touches for Burnley. Entries, Burnley made a whopping 88 entries, only 43 for Fulham. Duels, Fulham got the better of them in the duels on the day. Both keepers, for all those goals conceded, still were in the positive for goals prevented. So they were under the cash. Yeah, man, they had their issues. 1 error leading to shot and goal, and that was from Burnley. Yeah, that error was that missed kick clearance for the first goal from the corner by Hartman. So let's take a look real quick at the individual stats again. I think the player of the match is obviously certain to be Harry Wilson. A 10 perfect score on SofaScore. Hard to attain, but he got it. Don't see many of those during a season. Bassi did well again, 8.2. Leno, 8.4. So some high ratings for Fulham. Iwobi and Jimenez, the ones that didn't quite live up to the standard of everyone else on the pitch on the day. Burnley, tough one for them. They would think playing how they played, they probably deserve to get something out of that game, but it wasn't quite happening. I'm so glad Harry Potter Wilson getting his flowers now. Been telling people about him since he was captain in my youth team. Yeah, he has a wonder of a left foot, man. Special, special, special left foot. And he's doing it now like consistently. Like when he plays for Fulham, when he plays for Wales, he's going to be in and amongst the goals and assists for sure. Biggest injustice in football is Harry Wilson not playing PL for Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, so which one do you think? Because I was thinking Harvey, the new Harvey, was making his way to something like that, but he hasn't really worked out for him. I mean, is he even did he end up at Villa? Is that where he ended up? Did he get injured or something? I haven't seen that dude at all. Man, just not play. Been on the bench. Okay, so he hasn't made a bench since Europa League Young Boys. Hasn't made a Prem bench. Wow. Well, about the other Harvey. One name Harvey and one name Harry. Me I talk about the other Harvey. So him just now play. Why? He had such a good summer with the U21s, man. He's one of the best players. I mean, him playing this Gesson guy. But I mean, I don't know. Even though he was giving him chances when the season first started, I guess Unai said, man, nah, cut it. Nah, play no more. But he was looking like he was decent. We say Woodburn get a run before Wilson. That's rough. Yeah, I don't know how to do it, to sell the other guy Doke for like whatever amount of millions. I mean, barely see the man ever run out for Liverpool first team. You guys are talented when it comes on to these transfers in the boss. One Barca. Yo, my brethren tell me say Barca now lose a game for the rest of the season again. All right, people, the match that everybody probably want to hear me cuss about. Arsenal 2-1 over Wolves. And really, Wolves won the game 3-0, but they just scored in the wrong damn goal. So I don't know. I don't think any of the players that are trying to chase Erling Haaland for the golden boot got a goal. but a new contender just got in the race, and it was own goal. I think we had about 4 own goals in this week. So own goal definitely made a dent in the golden boot race. But this was something. The first half literally was a joke. In the first half, right? Arsenal, well, all right, before I said it, let's just look at the team sheets first. So, of course, Arsenal has issues on the back line with players. I think Gabriel is out. Calafiori was suspended. Mosquera is out. I think that's it. Yeah. But Saliba did return, which was, a blessing. I didn't really think that was going to happen. Ben White started but had to come off. So another defender got injured in this game. Piero Nkapie started the game at left back, would end up ending the game at left centre back. Once Ben White had to come off, they just shifted the back line to the right and put on Miles Lewis Skelly to play left back. Bukayo Saka didn't have a goal in the game, didn't have an assist in the game, but he was definitely the only player throughout the game that looked like he was going to do anything. Even in that first half that was dead, any good thing that happened, he was a part of it. But yeah, I mean, Wolves just were very disciplined. They stayed compact. They stayed in a low block. And when Arsenal gets a lot of possession, all 10 outfield players typically in the opponent's half. And for all that possession, all that territorial advantage, really and truly, if we're being honest, the best chance of the first half fell to Wolves. It was, I think it was Chan Wang got away after a poor decision in the attacking third by Zubimendi. He tried to play a little cute pass over the top. It was cut out. And that one-headed ball, he was after the races with like 3-4 Arsenal players trying to chase. As a matter of fact, not saying that Ben White couldn't have done his hamstring in another part of this game, but that giveaway by Zubimendi literally injured Ben White because he was in the chase back to try to get in position to stop one. That is where Ben White pulled up and had to come off after that. So he came off, as I said. Skelly came on to play left back. And the first thing I didn't understand by Arteta, this was the starting 11 that he played. Now, I just didn't understand why, if Miles Lewis Skelly is there, and you know that we're having issues at centre back, wouldn't it be smarter to rest one of your right backs just in case, and not start both of them in the same game? Because to me, you're putting Nkapie back at left back when he's been playing left centre back, right? As of right now, maybe Arteta just sees Timber as a better centre back than Nkapie. That must be it, because I don't know why he didn't just start with the back line that ended up being on the field when Ben White had to come off. Timber at right back, Saliba right centre back, Nkapie left centre back, and Miles Lewis Skelly left back. Because to me, it's almost like he went with a more solid defensive options than playing someone like Miles Lewis Skelly, who is going to get involved in that midfield, trying to break down that low block. He's the type of player that can drive through a block with the ball. So I just think tactically and just keeping continuity as well, I didn't understand why he went with this back line. And hindsight is always 2020. But if you're having a defensive crisis, I think it's imperative to not play two players that can play the same position at the same time. And he ended up doing that. And now Timber again. Luckily, we had this EFL Cup game against Crystal Palace pushed back the next week. But what is not congested this week for Arsenal will be more. It will be the same congestion next week. And if Ben White has any kind of lengthy injury, which if it was a hamstring, I mean, I doubt that it will be less than 2 to 3 weeks. I doubt that. And if it's a really bad grade, then we're talking 4 to 6, sometimes 8. And then you're saying, okay, is Timber going to have to play every single game at right back for the next 2 months or 6 weeks or whatever it is? That's not sustainable, because we don't need him to go down next. There's a clause that if Villa plays him X amount of times, they'll have to pay X amount of money. I never understood why a player would accept that in a deal, because it's almost like you're setting up yourself to not get played. If there's any chance that you're not like way better than the other man, them, you're not going to play the amount of games. You're not going to allow it. And it's affect their FFP thing. Okay, Shakiri them game over Harry. Well, Shakiri a baller still. Here comes City. Them say them a shark. Same injustice them do to Harvey. Well, I don't know, brother. Cause Arteta and him madness, man. In the Champions League, I tried to predict the 11. I mean, I don't think anybody that did a predicted 11 would have put Norgard at centre back. That's another thing. Norgard just play wicked at centre back, right? Saliba, it was rumored, or I haven't seen the quotes, but I heard that he wasn't really 100 to play this game. And Arteta, he could play, so he play. I mean, we just saw Nkapie and Norgard do well as a centre back period. It's Wolves blood. It's bloody Wolves. You know they're gonna come and sit back. Let Saliba rest. Have a whole other week before the week next week now, where we have the away trip to Everton. We have Crystal Palace in the cup, which we want to win that quarterfinal game. And then the following week after that, I think it's who is it after that? I know it's not. I know Aston Villa is after that next one. The after Everton. Brighton. Yeah, Brighton, Villa, Bournemouth, Liverpool. That's a tough run of games there. But yeah, Arteta and him madness, bro. Can't predict sometimes this guy going to do. You don't have no clue. But this is the game stats. Arsenal did have the better expected goals in the end, 1.13 to 0.38. And they had the bulk of that in the first half, did Wolves. Three big chances for Arsenal to one. And all of those came in the first half. That's crazy. We didn't get a big chance in the second half. Never. I thought we played better in the second half. 16 shots to only 3 for Wolves. 2 saves. 1 save made by Raya. 8 corners to none. We did score from one of those corners as usual. 572 passes to 261. Jeez and peace. 300 odd more passes attempted. 4 yellows for Wolves. But with those 16 shots, Arsenal put a grand total of 2 on target. Horrible. Hit the woodwork once. Missed all the big chances. Both teams did. 2 through passes. Way more touches in the box. Won the duels battle. 81 entries to 52. Both keepers negative. Not good enough. Not good enough. But Arsenal just was misfiring, man. But yeah, Wolves, their best chance came on this breakaway by Huang. It was a good save. Larson had a shot blocked. And a Rokadari with the goal. 3 shots all game. Arsenal with their 16 now. Timber should have done way better with this header. He put it over the top. Declan Rice. Mr. Header. Saka. Martinelli. This was a by himself header at the back post. Though I still don't know what he was trying to do. Martinelli. That one was blocked. And then he got another chance. This was a ricochet after a corner. Couldn't put that volley on target. I don't know how Martinelli only had 0.09 for this, but after he made a brilliant run, got past his marker for one of the few times. He didn't do it once in the first half, but in the second half, he got by him easily. Doherty got into the box, had the easiest cross in the world to Jokeres, but went for the glory, put it too far wide. Jesus should have done better with that. But yeah, Saka highest rating, then Nkapie, then the substitute Trossard, as usual, came on, did his thing, and Declan. So not many players for Arsenal in the green, which is over 7. Um, but 3 points is 3 points is 3 points. The thing that I hated about this performance, right? The first thing was um just not being clinical enough. You know, we had enough chances in the first half to make it comfortable. I think even though we got the goal in like the 70th minute, I think because it took so long, Wolves still had some belief. But I think the main issue for us was just not sticking to what was working after we scored. There's a reason why their XG was super low. Besides that one breakaway for each and one, is because we didn't give them any time to play. We pressed them, took the ball from them in the midfield for the most part, reset, started our play again. But I guess just naturally we started to drop deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And by the time they got the equalizer right on the 90th minute, it was coming after like a spell of maybe 4 or 5 minutes where we just were in panic mode. We got the ball, we didn't keep it, we clear it away to them, let them come back on us. And I just feel like we kind of took it for granted that the game could flip. We were happy with the 1-0 and we knew we had played badly. Just wanted to get out of there, but you have to finish off the job. And to be honest, that goal was so avoidable because it just was no pressure. When Mane gets the ball, like Saka it's almost like he's expecting someone else to go and press the guy. And he just kind of stood there and it was a cross, come shot, and Orokadare is a big target. He just got in the way, redirected it right at no chance. But credit to the boys, they fought back, and I think maybe the next time they went back up the pitch, Saka got the ball. He had been beating his man down the byline a few times and getting the right foot crossing. This time, kind of was setting up to go by him and just check back on his left. Very good in swinger, and in real time, I swore that Gabriel Jesus marked his return with a big header. But again, own goal. We need to. I wonder what his transfer market value is right now. Own goal, because he's on fire. Bless up Jeremy Lee. What go on? What go on? Yeah, man. Arsenal is a wow for real, brother. I can't believe some have to sweat for the damn wait name the game, but hey, it's a possibility in this league. And me and some United fans now, we give them 4 and scrape a 2-1 with own goals. But at the same time, like just look at the difference tactically, how Wolves play you to how Wolves play me. I think you will see a big difference in how they approach the game. And that definitely played a part. But to be honest, to be fair to Man U, they are better than us at creating chances. It's a fact. You can look at the stats. And even if they're not, it's very very on par or close, going one way or the other. But it's not no big gap between that aspect of Manchester United compared to Arsenal, chance creation. Man, you have done that really well this season so far, and it's a 16 game season. That's enough of a sample size for me to say, okay, this team is a team that will create chances. If it's after 2 3 games, I understand, but 16 games, you have a big enough sample size to kind of see the trend. Yeah, Arsenal win and that's all that should matter. But I think Demo, that's easy for City to say, that's easy for Liverpool to say because you have seen your team do it, right? I think with Arsenal and the fans that are being very realistic about this season, um, we have seen that these performances in the end lead to us dropping points, right? And we're not going to have, because I remember that game where Reece Nelson scored the last minute goal. People were kind of saying, I was obviously happy about it. It was a crazy scene, last kick of the game. But that was coupled around a lot of those performances where we were scraping, we were getting lucky, bounce here, bounce there. And then over the course of the season, when you get to those crunch games, it feels like your luck ain't there with you anymore. But it's just, you've set that precedent that you can dig yourself out of a hole or change that draw to 3 points. But it's just more difficult to do at the end of that season. So with those performances being better, looking better, right? I feel like it doesn't guarantee anything, Demo, and 3 points is 3 points at the end of the day. But it doesn't inspire that much confidence. Let's just put it that way. And I feel like, at the current moment, I don't for 1 second think that we don't have enough. We have a lot of injuries right now, but if you look at the team, and it's not a bad defense, even with all the injuries. It's not a bad midfield. It's not a bad front three, right? But, and then you look at the bench, Jesus is back. He came on. Marino, I think, is criminally underrated as a player. He gets a lot of stick because he is not fast, but people just fall in love with the speed thing, If you're intelligent, you don't need speed. And trust me, Mikel Merino is super intelligent on the football pitch. But yeah, I mean, the bench is still looking good. Look at those 5 players that came on, all quality. Didn't even use one area or Madueke. So, the team depth is there. I just worry about this guy. This guy right here. It's clear that he's tactically excellent and can draw up a good game plan. He has improved some of the players. So there's a lot of things about him as a manager that are good. But I just worry that the players panicked. And if you see Arteta on the bench, typically he looks like he's panicking. Maybe that's just his demeanor to get his point across, but he just seems on edge all the time, And I feel like, that energy can filter through to the players, and they can, get panicked and nervous energy and all this stuff and start make mistake. And so yeah, I don't really fully trust the manager to be able to get over that line, and he's just gonna have to prove me wrong. He's gonna have to prove me wrong, but I've seen enough instances where I'm scratching my head decisions he's making and they cost us games, I will be fair to him and say this season so far with the substitutes especially, they've usually made an impact. Like a lot of the times in bring on subs this year, them score, them assist. So that is something I'll give him credit for. But 2 things that I'm just worried about. Once we get these players back, will he find that balance between rotation and continuity? Because I don't think he's really been able to figure that out as a manager yet. And then the other thing is just, the Gyökeres thing, right? So I am of the mind that it's twofold. I do think that Gyökeres needs to do more, just in the framework of the team, but I also feel like it's also on his team and more specifically those players in that midfield area that get the ball. And typically, once Gyökeres sees that player have any space, he's trying to make a run, some kind of diagonal, whether to the right-hand side or the left-hand side. And too often when you look at clips of him making runs, the pass is there. The pass is there to be made, and we're not choosing that pass. I think it comes down to the coach's priorities, right? The coach's priorities and, what he really wants. He always uses that C word, control. And I think 10 out of 10 at the time, Arsenal's midfielders have been programmed to take the safe option, retain the ball. And, I liken it to a situation, and this is blasphemous to be talking about Van Persie and putting it with Gyökeres because Van Persie is just a whole other level to Gyökeres. But just in the sense that when he got to Manu, the coach told the players, like, you need to be looking for this player once we get into that attacking third. Like, find this player. Just give him a chance to get the ball and score. And he said, if you can't do that for me, you won't be playing. Now, I pretty much am 1,000% certain that nothing of the sort was said to our midfielders, Gyökeres. Don't change too much what we're doing. Use him if you can. It's probably more like what he would say. But it's kind of obvious to me that, Odegaard especially, there's like a compilation on Twitter that I saw of every time he's made a run and Odegaard has it and him don't pass it. And it's definitely more frequent than I would really, really want to happen at this point. But yeah, he continues to struggle, man. There's nothing around that, no ways around that. I mean, it's an improvement. He's been getting red sofa score ratings a lot, but this one is in the orange at least. But yeah, rough day at the office. Expected goals, barely none. He did have that one left foot shot, but was a tame effort and it was wide. Only 15 touches in his, how long did he play? 81 minutes. So with all that possession, he's just not getting touches. Not getting touches at all. But he needs to do better, and his teammates need to do better. That's what I'll say on Gyökeres. But hey, the reinforcements are coming back. Gabi Jesus, not really a goal scorer, but trust me, Arsenal have a much better fluid attack when he plays. And Kai Havertz had a setback, so he's not quite back yet. But we're hopeful that it's gonna be soon. I know Kai Havertz is the one that a lot of Arsenal fans don't really care for, but that Janet Jackson song, you don't know what you got till it's gone. That's kind of how we're feeling as Arsenal fans right at this minute. So hopefully when he comes back, people will at least see that there's some value in the player, But yeah, Arsenal scrape a win, people, and the amount of beating the Arsenal fans get for winning a game, say things change, And them say we forget beaten because we only win the game 2-1. Yo, what the hell? And I put West Ham, Aston Villa 2. Yo, I put all kind of wrong scores. What the hell? Yeah, man. 3 pass, 15 touches, man. You stay there and laugh. He had a game earlier this season where he didn't have any. The man didn't even make one pass. I'm like, yo, how is that possible? Wait. Yeah, 3 for 6. He had a game where he was like 0 for something or 1 for 8 or 1 for 5 or something. And then play similar amount of minutes, like 70 odd. I mean, he's had some nightmare performances, bro. Nightmare. But yeah, it was poetic justice though, because this Mosquera, brother. I don't know if you remember, but the last time, I think it was his debut. It was like the first game of the season. And the man first him what did he did some madness to Gabriel. Oh, put him finger somewhere where it shouldn't go. And then the man tackled him and Havertz getting a little tackle on the wing, and while Havertz on the ground, Mosquera hold him hand to him throat and I push him, basically choke him. And the ref didn't do anything. As a matter of fact, I think Jesus reacted rough to what he did. And the ref saw that part and gave him a yellow. But yeah, I don't know, man. We have the player now, so it don't make sense. Me say, boy, dash him away. Because I just feel like I still see him make some run when could I get the ball and do something with it. But them not give him the ball. They're too safe. They're too damn safe with the pass, them, bro. Mikel wants a false 9, and he will forever play that. You see it. 3 points, 2 own goal. We still win. Yeah, man. End of the season, them not, the goal them count. Just to see, as a matter of fact, even though they were own goals, I'm pretty sure on the overall goal tally for the season, them two they count for Arsenal. So yeah. Mikel wants a false nine. Yeah, I saw that man had 3 passes. It's crazy. Sweden front line is such garbage water right now. And the crazy part is, I swear to them out, because of something to do with what they did, how they did in the Nations League or something. They are basically in this playoff. And I'm like, them finish last in them zone. So it's like the people them really want Sweden to make it. Pause for the cause. All right, so look, as an Arsenal fan, I just want to forget that game, yeah. To be honest, I'm not go really lose my head over it. Um, signs are worrying. I think, I always feared when Odegaard came back, it would really hurt Eze, and it has. Eze was balling that Tottenham game, a couple games before that, playing really well in the midfield, coming up with goals, scoring hat tricks, doing his thing. And of course, Odegaard comes back. Eze was moved to left wing, he was moved to the bench. Um, he hasn't been playing outstanding of late, but I just feel like the coach gives him the hook before a lot of other players who could get the hook. So yeah, again, with a bigger squad comes more responsibility for the manager, rotation wise, keeping players happy, all of these things. And I think this is the first time since he's been the manager, he probably trusts pretty much everyone on the squad, just about. So, the key for him is going to be finding that balance between continuing what you saw last time and, working with the medical team to make sure you're not overplaying players, which you have a problem with. The next game, people, and this was the window of time that was difficult for me to see more than a few games at a time. But Man City did win this one 3-0. But people, if you didn't watch this football game and you just saw the score, you'd say, "Oh man, Man City dominate again." But brother, Crystal Palace was so wasteful in that first half. It was ridiculous. They definitely should have at least got one goal out of that first half. But of course, after City, doesn't do much for a long stretch of time in the game, all of a sudden, Haaland pops up with that goal. Because City did have more possession, as they always do, but Palace was keeping them at arm length for the most part, and Palace was looking more dangerous on their counters. But a wicked whip ball in from Nunes, and Haaland rose to get that one to take the lead 1-0. The game stayed at that place up until the second goal of the match in the 69th minute, scored by Phil Foden. Ryan Shirky again with the assist, and then Erling Haaland converted a penalty late on to make it 3-0. And definitely, for me, flattered Man City just a little bit. These were the stats in the game. Crystal Palace had a higher expected goals. As I was telling you, these guys should have took the lead, but they were wasteful. One big chance for them, 2 for City. Palace outshot them 16-7. We see the shots on target. City much more accurate with the shooting, 6 on target to only 4 for Crystal Palace. Palace did hit the woodwork twice, and that was amongst those big chances or those half chances, whatever you want to call them, that they weren't able to convert. They did say they only had one big chance, but boy, it felt like more than that. 20 more touches in the box for Palace. Ground duels, duels period right there. You see the entry 65-40 in favor of Man City. And Donnarumma, good game. Henderson, not so good. Gave up a penalty on the game, so that didn't help. Luckily, the players were back on the line, so it was not a straight red. You see the lineups. So Haaland got player of the match, Foden right there behind, and also Cherky. So the front three did its thing, played really well. O'Reilly, Nunes, Diaz, Vardy all solid. Donnarumma very good. Henderson probably is lowest rating on the season. And they'll just have to regroup. But they shouldn't be killing themselves over this 3-0, to be honest. I mean, if anything, they're a little upset that it got stretched out that far. But um, it is what it is. It is what it is, and I'm sure they'll probably have that mentality. But they should just look at it and say, listen, this game could have gone a lot differently if we got a bounce here or there and we just were a little more clinical. So not the worst performance in the world, but it looked really bad, that scoreline of 3-0. But trust me, if you watch that game, that was nowhere near a 3-0 game. I think Arsenal will finish in their normal position. Just Bill, man. Red Skull said the shark smells blood. Arsenal fans are now because they know their place. I think you're missing a word there, Dexter Baker, but I'm sure it was another trolling attempt, As of right now, we have 22 votes on the poll. Man U, Bournemouth 4-all is in the lead. Then the West Ham 2, Aston Villa 3 is in second. Arsenal, Wolves, Burnley, and Fulham tied for third right now. Let's see. So Man U winning overall, which makes sense. That was quite a entertaining one. Dexter Baker. Speak now, Dexter Baker. Who are your side? Maybe a City? I don't know. Let me know, Dexter. Who are your side? Jeez, man. Sar come back from injuries just to go to AFCON and get a one run out. The man just could not convert a chance, brother. Him should have scored one of them for sure. Was it Gay? Mitchell. One of his worst performance this season too. I don't want Mateta him. Sure. Defender them struggle. Everybody struggle. Erling Haaland again. 2 more. Foden again. Foden on the street, man. Savinho. Should I make it 4? Actually, no. Is him get fouled? On the breakaway? Then Haaland come forward and finish it off him. But yeah, 3-0 Man City, 3 points again. Significant the 3-0 as well because currently they are on 2 better goal difference than Arsenal. So if Arsenal were to drop points at Everton with a draw and Man City were to win their game against, I think they play West Ham at home, which more than likely they'll win. That's pressure on Arsenal when we play Everton. I believe we play them again late kickoff Saturday. So, City plays in the morning, I believe, and then we will know if they're a point ahead of us or what after that game when they host West Ham. So going to be an interesting one to watch next week where the teams end up after the games are played. So next one, Forest Tottenham, and this just put a smile on my face. Big up to DJ Shatta Hennessy. Call this 3-0 on the money. Yep. Nottingham Forest 3, Tottenham 0. And it was the Ibrahima Sangare and Callum Hudson-Odoi show. The first goal was just horrible. Typical Spurs. Vicario playing a pass to Archie Gray. He had no business playing. Archie Gray takes a bad touch. It's taken off his foot by Sangare. He finds Hudson-Odoi for the easiest of tap-ins. Then the second goal Hudson-Odoi scored was a cross, but it did just curl into the far post. It just one of those ones where It's better to be lucky than good sometimes. And then just to rejoin the party, Sangare gets on the end of a layoff pass. I think it was Callum Hudson-Odoi who laid the pass off to him, and it was a monster strike by Sangare, curling away from the goalkeeper off the inside of the post and in. Ibrahima Sangare should be headed off to the African Cup of Nations. He will be over there playing for Ivory Coast, but he left that parting gift for his fans at the City Ground. Gibbs White had a poor one in terms of the sofa score, and that was really down to the big chance missed and just being overall wasteful in the shooting. Omari Hutchinson, amazing what change a manager, a little new lease on life can do. Omari Hutchinson has been undroppable by Sean Dyche of late, and he even stayed on for the entire game this time around. But yeah, Sangare and Hudson-Odoi definitely won this game for Nottingham Forest. And Tottenham is just so strange, man. Last week, good performance, not a bad performance in the Champions League either. But then they turn up to this game at the City Ground, and it's like it's just the lack of energy, the lack of effort is really alarming at this point. And Thomas Frank was talking to the media after the game, and he said, "Listen, I just hope that we take measured decisions at this time, and blah blah blah." He's basically saying, "Don't fire me yet. Just give me a chance to try to change things and fix things. You guys should learn and be humble." Defending champions, you'll never walk alone. Yeah, man, and I go through the defending champions curse right about now. So why you can't defend your title? Good question. Well, we win leagues and Champions League. We don't subscribe to finishing second. Okay. But what that have to do with defending this title? Yeah, man, I guess them glad that we finished second so much time because they were the second people, for years. Big up Pristine. Glad say you could have make it. Glad say you could have make it. As always, big up to the legends, the members themselves. Red Scholar David Laugh. We finished second a few times with a manager that has won titles. Arsenal fans are hoping that a manager that has never won a title do that for them. Impossible. Well, every man who did win a first title, or a first league, you had to win the first one. You can't, I guess if you don't win a league yet, Arteta been managing what, 6 years? Yes, that's too long still. So when Arsenal win league, I'm gonna say the same thing. Arsenal fans know that they will never win the league with Arteta. The maths is not mathing. You can't say he never won a trophy. Actually, he did. It's Prem and Champions League he need to accomplish. Read title. Red Skull dying with laughter. Man Dexter have the banter go on, So weird. Oh. Just I realize say Matt Sells never keep and a John keep. But Spurs, yeah, real joke side, 4 big chance and give up and don't create none. What the hell, man? This team is a joke, Joke of a team. Murray play good again. Richard, Gray, Van de Ven, Kudos, Spence, Richard. Poor. Where does this leave Thomas Frank? Do you think he's in any danger at all? I don't think so. But hey, they fired the other guy after winning the Europa League, so you never know. But 3-0, big win for Forest. Big win for Forest. Remind you of Forest of last year, really. Sunderland, Newcastle in the Wear Time derby, and this was an interesting one. Very, very physical. Fouls, people getting into each other's face. So if you're a throwback English Premier League fan, you probably really enjoyed this game. It tells what kind of game it is when the man of the match so far score is a defender from the team that lost 1-0. So the quality in the attacking areas was just not there. And this was just one of those battles, it was you could tell it was a derby. You could tell that the coaches, or someone let them know how important this derby is, because pretty much everybody gave everything. Dan Burn had to come off injured, which was a blow for Newcastle. Fabian Schär came on for him. But this goal was, of all the own goals this weekend, this had to be the best. Voldemort just finished that like the clinical striker that he has proven to be. Only problem is he was heading it into his own goal past Aaron Ramsdale. But Sunderland keep on pushing on when it comes to picking up points at home. And Newcastle continue their, Jekyll and Hyde type of performances in the Premier League. The stats of this game, you see the expected goals for both teams super low. It just was such a midfield battle on the day. You see the midfield right there. Entries were pretty close, but did favor Sunderland, the winning team. But Nick Woltermart scoring in the wrong goal on the day, and that one ended 1-0. So big up to the Sunderland people them. Long time on the wait for see that derby there in the Prem, and first time it is back, you get a 1-0 win. Now the next game we're going to talk about is West Ham and Aston Villa, battle of the Clareton Blues. And West Ham had the dream start when Ezra Konsa made a really bad mistake, and Mateus Fernandes made no mistake from an acute angle, blasting it past Bizzo. And then Mavropanos scored an own goal. Again, own goal, just had a wonderful day, inching closer and closer to Haaland in that golden boot race. But that was a brilliant quality cross by McGinn, and it looked in real time like Watkins might have hit it in the far post, but upon further inspection, you could see clearly that it did hit the defensive player. Then we have Jared Bowen making it 2-1 again for the host, West Ham. There was a appeal for a handball. It broke back out to Diouf. He whipped it in. It was headed clear, and on the volley, and it was heading towards goal, and it was redirected by Jared Bowen, who stayed onside somehow before tapping it in on the redirection. But once that happened to make it 2-1 West Ham, it wasn't until after halftime that Aston Villa struck. It was a good cross into the box, good first touch by Rodgers, and basically swivel and hit it into low and hard, and it got through some bodies to make it 2-2. And then there was nothing, there was the goal by Rodgers, that third goal that gave them the 3 points. That was world class, where he received that ball, positive touches, and then didn't wait, saw the goalkeeper leaving a little bit, over his head if he could get the dip on the ball. And one thing we've learned about Rodgers in the past couple of months, I would say, that his ball striking is just another facet that I didn't realize he had. I mean, this guy really can hit it and maneuver and manipulate the ball to score from distance. And if you've seen him do it like 3-4 times now, or at least 3 times this season, we've seen it. And he scored some bangers, and he's definitely back to the form that pretty much got him a call up to the England team. And if it's one position on that pitch that I don't envy Thomas Tuchel for, it's that attacking midfield role. They have so many good players in that role. Morgan Rogers, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden. You can play Jude Bellingham there. So, I mean, there's a lot of good players to choose from. That England team is going to be tough to pick. Arteta won't win the league with you guys. He's a poor manager. Let's see, says Skull. Once Slat and Pep is here, it's going to be one of them winning the tap. Man, don't put Slat in there. Tap it nice. Arsenal is an internship for Arteta. He can't handle this heat. Last week, Slat we're going to get sacked. Now he's winning the league. Yeah, man, them wishy-washy of fuck. It's December and he's cracking already, even after we gave him a jump start. Which some start, win the first 5 games. We have Michael Edwards. Slot was never gonna get sacked. Saying Arsenal can't handle the heat, that's weird. At least we're fighting. Can't say much about you. I would say fighting, but rather I wouldn't say fighting, but rather panicking. Remember, the title race don't start until 31st of Jan. When every team nervous, even City against Fulham. So what's your point? Every team, even every team nervous. Okay. By the end of Jan, you will be clutching at straws. All right, Dexter Baker, big up yourself. Love how you bring your opinions to the table. You know, we love that. We love that. We love that. All right, so Morgan Rogers, man, baller, baller. Really good baller. You know, definitely a big baller. Look at all that red on West Ham side, man. Damn. Today where you play incredible. You get an orange. But yeah, 3-2 win. And it was an exciting game. One of my favorite games for the weekend, to be honest. Expected goals was higher for West Ham. Look at that. And Villa's been doing this all season, outperforming their XG by a couple, scoring outside the box a lot of times, you know. Passes, of course. Shots on target 4-3, so it was pretty close there. Four big chance scored. Nobody missed nothing. 56-41 entries in favor of West Ham. So West Ham took it to them, man. Bizot must have did okay. Not really. All right, next up. Brentford Leeds. This one ended 1-1. On his 600th appearance, Jordan Henderson gets a goal, his first for Brentford in the league. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I mentioned it earlier, but that's 4-4 for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, refining some form. Leeds did lead the expected goals battle, but they could not make that advantage tell. Two big chances and one big chance created for Brentford. Leeds doing well. You know, usually Ellen Road is where they get the bulk of their points, but definitely when they got that equalizer through Calvert-Lewin, a good cross from Wilfred Nanto as well. It looked like they might even kick on to get the next one as well, but it wasn't meant to be. But Leeds did outshoot them, more shots on target as well. So they can definitely feel good about their performance, I would say. And they were able to get a point, which, you know, when you're in and around that relegation area, you will take any point on the road. So they're probably pleased with the final result. Brentford, on the other hand, I'm sure they know they can do much better. Igor Thiago has been on flames, but not this game. He had one of his weakest performances, quietest performances in this game. No shots at all taken, you know. Dango, same thing. You know, he's headed off to African Cup of Nations. Coach give him a game, but Dango was not able to convert anything on this Sunday matchup. But John Henderson did win the player of the match with his goal, and that's nice to see, you know, the old man winning player of the match. But Calvert-Lewin, what do you guys think? Do you guys think it's just he's back to the Calvert-Lewin that was always a danger for Everton, or do you still need to see more in terms of longevity and see how long he can even be playing, much less keep up the goal scoring, you know? Hope you'll be here. Subscribe. I want to see you in chat every week. Slot is a better manager than Arteta. That's debatable. Slot definitely has the Premier League, so there's that. But you know, I don't know, man. Slot has done his fair share of madness, you know, especially since the season start. Yep, Friday and Sunday. If there's a game Monday night. Oh, Slot is a better manager when Slot didn't build a team. I can't be here all the time. I'm kind of busy. Big up Dexter. When you can, you're missing the point. Slot wins league, Arteta finish second. Both win goal Asafa finished second and below. When it matters, Slot and Pep turn up. Okay. Skull said us fine time. I saw. I mean, look, I just don't rate Arne Slot like that. You know, I mean, yes, he won the league. I can't take that from him. But I mean, it was on autopilot, bro. What did he really do differently? He tweaked tactics a bit, but the personnel, you know, who he was using in the games was the same. The only thing Slot did differently was made Gravenberg play number 6, and it worked. You know, that's the thing that I can say. He came in and saw and recognized and said, "Oh, I can just put Grav there." You know, when Slot didn't clearly never thought to do that ever. Not when I say Slot, I meant to say Klopp. But the minute he makes his transfers and gets players in, and he doesn't have a blueprint for how to use the squad anymore. I mean, how many times have you as a Liverpool fan been like, yo, what kind of lineup is this season already? So a lot of the things that I see myself complain to Arteta about, I see Slot doing them for Liverpool. That's why, I mean, it's hard. I can't argue that Arteta is better. There's no actual factual evidence to say that, right? But I'm not gonna jump out here and act like Slot is this like incredible manager. I mean, he got the job done. He won a league. I can't take that from him. You know, kudos to him. But again, I think that shit that he won was set up for him. You know, it was set up for him to have the team, and you know, it was just good timing for him to come in with a different, fresh idea, and for them to be able to use it. You know, I think it was just perfect timing. Remember when you guys saw that we're gonna get Slot? Your opinion was that we're gonna get relegated. No, Dexter Baker, that wasn't my opinion. You know. As a matter of fact, before last season started, I think I had Liverpool finishing second, I believe, or third at least. I think I had City second, Arsenal first, Liverpool third. But I saw from preseason when I saw them playing, I said what he looks to be bringing, which is a measure of control, is what the team needed because the team is getting older. They can't really do the basketball style anymore. Um, and what I was surprised about was he was able to like have a measure of control added, but then still keep the aspects that made you guys Liverpool. You know, the constant threat, the constant going for it, going for it, going for it. You know, he kind of just let them have that and sacrifice some of his control, and it worked out. You know, but I never had an opinion that you'd get relegated though. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not gonna argue it. You say he's better, 2 league titles. Fair enough. Fair enough. Slot is a better manager than Arteta. I'll say it. I'll say it. He has won a league, 2 leagues. They say short memory. Man say, yo, with short memory, 21 league title and 6 Champions League. Yeah, Brentford leads though. 1-1. Split the points at the G Tech. Not the best result. And then the last game of the week was one that was worth the wait. Man, you have been getting stuck with these Monday games, and it looked like they pulled off one of the Old Trafford great wins with 2 goals in 2 minutes to make it 4-3 after the 79th. But that lead lasted 5 total minutes before Krupi, who had been on fire for some weeks when Evan Nielsen was out of the team, came off the bench to give them another goal in this one. And it was a well-worked goal as well through the middle. It was, I believe was it Tavernier? I think it was Tavernier. No, Tavernier played the ball to Evan Nielsen. Who played the ball to my boy there? I don't remember how Krupi get the ball, but it was one of these midfielders would have played it to him. Damn, True Fair get a 5? The hell? Oh yeah. He should have cut out that pass by Sesko. It was a poor pass. Man just set the ball to Cunha to blow out. Tell you about these two deep defenses in a man. Them horrible in a man. Neither one of these defenses. Let me see something. Watch this. 6 big chances for both. 2 big chances for Man U, but look at the expected goals, bro. 3.4. Damn. Both keepers make 5 saves. Man U had 11 more shots. Shots on target were 9 to 9. Man U hit the woodwork. 2 scored, 4 missed. Damn. Bournemouth could have easily win the damn game. But Man U definitely create a lot of chances too. Look at all them shots, man. Whole heap. Final third entry, 65 for Bournemouth, 53 for Man U. Wow. It's crazy. Both keepers negative goals prevented. Duels very close on the day. But Bruno Fernandes, again, big performance. 1 goal, 1 assist. Brilliant free kick on the day. Cunha finally got him a goal in the Prem. Casemiro again popping up with a header from a set piece. And Amad Diallo gave a parting gift as he goes after AFCON. And this is going to be tough for them, you know. Diallo and Buemo both believing at the same time for AFCON. I know a lot of Man U fans will be cheering for those two teams to go home early, but I think it's going to be an issue because I think Diallo with Ivory Coast poised to at least get through the group, and definitely Mbuemo is a bit more up in the air right now with all the madness going on with Cameroon, but you know, he's probably one of the few players that is in both of the squads. I don't know if you've heard that Cameroon have 2 squads that have been out. You know, the coach thinks he's still under contract, so he put out a squad. Eto has selected a new coach. He put out a squad. So yeah, it's madness over in Cameroon right now with that national team. But yeah, it's gonna be tough. You know, that right side is gonna be depleted, as you know, 2 of the starting players on that right side, Mbuemo and Diallo, both will be headed after AFCON, probably after this game. So yeah, it's gonna be tough for them down that right side, but we'll see what they come up with. But this was 4-4 and it was quite exciting. Diallo got the first one. Semenyo, after some good work defensively on the right, team defending. Ball broke to Semenyo and really no one could close him down in time. He put it low to the far post. Then Casemiro, right before halftime, from a set piece, got the goal at the far post. Good shielding and blocking again by the Man U team. Evan Nielsen scoring right as the second half started. Good through pass from Tavernier to him. Then Tavernier hit a free kick that scored. People didn't love how the wall was set up, but I just think it was really good execution. The keeper always is gonna lean a bit to that wall side, thinking the player's gonna go up and over. He went hard and low to the side that the keeper's supposed to be covering, and I think he just got beaten for the pace there. Then Bruno, brilliant free kick of his own, top of the box, on the side of the crossbar. Then Cunha on a quick break after scoring the third to equalize. He made it 4-3, sorry, after a cross was cut out by Trufair, only to go right into the stride of Cunha, who took a touch and finished with no problem. And 5 minutes later, it was 4-4, and another masterpiece of EPL football was decided by a 4-4 scoreline. But Bruno Fernandes got the player of the match. Diallo was good as well with his goal. Marcus Tavernier definitely most influential on the pitch for me for Bournemouth in the whole entire game. And he has been really, really good. Where is Marcus Tavernier from? Is he English? Yeah, so Marcus Tavernier, I mean, Probably not a player that most people, talking about or whatever the case is, but he's been pretty good this year. Good player, solid left foot. Just think that midfield of England is stacked. I don't think he can get in there. But yeah, Senesi been playing really good this season so far too. He's from Argentina. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if Marcos Senesi, the next go around, really starts to get his way into that Argentina team. He's been playing really well from the season started. In a Bournemouth team that defensively has struggled, he has stood out as the best performer. And this has been happening frequently. A lot of these players around him are getting low scores, but his score are always high. So yeah, Senesi doing his thing, Argentina could probably use him. How old is he? I don't even think he's that old enough. 28. Yeah, it's not so bad. Perfect age. He'll be 29 at the World Cup if he goes. But Man United creating a bag of chances, but trust me, them going to give up chances. Just, somebody was, I think, was it, I forget who it was. Somebody was cloning Onana. I'm saying, bro, this guy Lamens, him not much better than Onana, And they were saying, no, I'm crazy, I'm crazy, I'm crazy. But, sure, I don't know, bro. Where is Krupe from? Brazil? France. Wow. 19. It's crazy. Wonder where his people are from. Yeah, man. Krupe is a wonderful talent. Oh, you say how the substitute get the assist? Oh, the man who did come on. No, it wasn't Scott. Was it this guy? James Hill? No. Was it Brooks? No. So nobody never get the assist? I swear, say I want pass the ball game. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. 4 hours of madness in a man. Damn. So yeah, I didn't vote on the poll, but if I did, that's the game I would have voted for. That game was crazy. All right, so let's take a look now. Let me see where we're at on time. Okay, so damn, we are gonna run for 2 hours. That's crazy. DR Congo playing a friendly tomorrow. Let's see. I'm not sure. Let's see. People, please do smash the like button. 39 of you strong in the building, 2 hours into the show. That is a massive, massive, massive appreciation from me for that. Just make sure that the likes reflect how many people have been tuned into what is slowly and surely becoming one of the places to be if you want to get the full recap of the entire EPL weekend. And of course, banter some of people in the comment section as well while you do it. Arteta to not take enough risk to win a league title. Yeah, that the risk and the lack of risk taking on the field tactically, and also the lack of risk taking with his squad. Those two things will hold us back. Imagine the squad that he has, and the league is so poor this. What Dexter Baker? Why do you say that the league is so poor this season? I don't understand this. More teams are taking points from every team. Does that mean the league is poor, or there's more parity? It can't be the league can't be poor. Yo, 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 yo. Big up Grizzle. And that upon, oh gosh. You must be talking to Skull about the pun. I told you the title race don't start until the 31st. Yeah. Pep said start no. Yo, Pep a race already, man. Man, they're a racer. All right, so let me get on the screen the Premier League table because it's an interesting one now. So the bottom three looks like this. Wolves on 2 points. Golly, I think that's what 9 losses in a row now. I want to say something like that, 9 or 10. Burnley in a similar boat. They're on 10 points though, so they have a little bit more going on. They have been able to muster 3 wins so far, same amount as West Ham, but they do have 4 draws to go with it. So they are on 13 points as opposed to 10 for Burnley. But they're still 3 points from safety, where Leeds sits on 16 points after their draw. 16th position is Nottingham Forest. They have been trying to have a little upswing in their form under new manager Sean Dyche. He has gotten 3 wins out of the last 5, and they only had 2 wins before that. So yes, he's been doing a decent enough job trying to get them as far as possible from that relegation zone. They now sit 5 points above it. Brentford in 15th after that draw. They're on 20 points. Fulham, with that win, got into the 20s for the first time. They are on 20 points. That was their 6th win of the season. Bournemouth have winless now in 5. They have a draw, 2 losses, and they have 3 draws and 2 losses in their last 5. They are on 21 points currently in 13th. Newcastle lost again in the league. They are now up to 6 losses now after 16 games played. They are on 22 points in 12th position. Spurs with another L on 6 losses as well, 22 points. Slightly better goal difference, so they're in 11th position. Then we move up to 10th. Only team on 23 points is Brighton. Then Everton in the top 10 still, even after that loss. They are still on 24 points. They are 2 points behind a group of 4 teams on 26 points. Sunderland, Liverpool, Man U, and Crystal Palace in that order from 8th to 5th. Liverpool and Sunderland both have a +2, Man United +4, and Crystal Palace +5. So that is 5, 6, 7, 8, all on 26 points. And that places them currently 10 points off of the title. Chelsea rounds out the top 4 on 28 points. They got a victory. They are on +12 goal difference so far, but they're in 4th position. Aston Villa continue to roll. They have now won, I believe, 9 of their last 10 in the Premier League, and they are up to 33 points, still 3 points off league leaders Arsenal. Manchester City have a chance against West Ham to go top of the table by a point before Arsenal travel to Everton, and that should be pretty much what's to be expected at this moment. They have 4 wins on the bounce now, and I think West Ham game, while it could be tricky because they have been better under Nuno, I do think Man City is going to prove too much for them. And Arsenal will have to go to that new Everton stadium and know that nothing less than a win will probably get them, well, definitely won't get them to the top of the table, because superior goal difference from Man City, we would not be able to catch them with a draw. So very, very interesting. Next week is going to be, I think, because I think at this point, people have pretty much said that, hey, it's pretty inevitable what's probably going to happen. Like, these boys from City are doing their thing. So yeah, we shall see. Looks like Red Skull and Dexter Baker are still at it in the comment section. We'll love to see it. All right, so before I get to the big reveal of the prediction standings and champ, I'm just gonna, while I'm on the page, show you guys how the fantasy team looked this weekend. So this was a 77-point haul, not too bad. Wish I could have had the 149 like this brother, but didn't quite make all the moves I should have. Now looking back, I should have gotten Harry Wilson in this team, but I didn't. As you can see, this was the starting 11 that I went with. First thing I like to look at is how did my bench look. So I sat Sanchez on the bench. I think that was a mistake. I did not love the Dubravka matchup against Fulham, but I just think I made a mistake. I thought I had subbed in Sanchez. That was an honest mistake. Now, I did want to bench Alderete. I did feel like Arsenal would keep the clean sheet against Wolves, which was looking for long stretches like they would. But for whatever reason, we lost our heads for like 10 minutes, stopped playing Arsenal football, started backing off people, and we conceded a goal. So it could have been a much better week if I had just clicked on the right player to start in goal, and if Arsenal just did what they were supposed to do and get the fucking clean sheet. But either way, I didn't feel too badly captaining Saka. He did get 11 points. So that was 22. Bruno would have been the best captain on the week. He had 13. And Haaland also with 13. So it could have been either one of those two. But I went with Saka and it worked out. Between those three players, that's what 26 and 22, that's 48 points. So yeah, 48 of the 77 from three players, not bad at all. Semenyo, Chalaba kicked in as well. And imagine if I had started Alderete and Sanchez, and just like benched Kudus, for example. That would have really been a good week. But hey, can't really win them all. The good thing is, if you look around my leagues that I'm in, NBC Sports League has a whole bunch of people. I moved up in that. I moved up in the US, Arsenal, overall, everywhere. But when you're in these smaller leagues, you do have a chance that you might go down. And I was in the lead in this huge, I think there's about 700 people in this one. And I've fallen off big time. So still within striking distance though. I mean, 40, 50 points in fantasy is really nothing when you really stretched out over time. But 77 was a good look this week. But you can see a lot of people had big weeks this week. This guy had 113. What the hell? Okay, so he had his bench boost playing. Yeah, so that's another disadvantage for me currently. Like I think a lot of people held on to their chips. So some of these big match weeks are just guys that had their free hits and their wild cards and just triple captains and all these things still. So I kind of played mine early. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We'll get into the second half of the season when you get the new ones. How I play those out if I use a different strategy. The other one I'm not winning right now is Moss Sports World. Big up yourself, Moss. Always playing the predictions over here. So I'm in a couple of leagues with Moss, one traditional league and also a draft league. But this is how the traditional one is going. I have been passed in first place by Saskatoon City, who got 97. And like I said, triple captain. There you go. So 33 points. That's 11 more. It's nice. But yeah, striking distance 14 points, that is nothing. So we're feeling good about both of these leagues, can still win those. King of Jamaica League have a nice little lead here, pretty sizable. Looks like the reason boss Rich Poe is in second. So that is good. Let's see how the lead is. This is my own league. Have a nice big league there. There is Demo. Made a good run this week, 92 points. Haaland Eketike front line will do it for you. Foden on there as well. Saka. So Demo will tell you that he's in good shape there. And this one got a lot tighter. So Stephen Walker, I don't know where this guy came from, but yeah, all of a sudden it's getting tighter at the top of that one as well. But yeah, 995, not bad. Wish I could have got to that 1,000 mark this week, but I'll take 995. That's good enough. Now let's take a look at my draft leagues right quick. So this one is just going poorly for me. Like your this is head-to-head each week. So I had a matchup this week. I lost 45-41. And if you look at my fixtures all season, I'm probably lost the games by a total of, I don't know, 20 points. Like all my losses have been 1 point loss. I think I had 1 week where I just did crap. But every other week I've been decent and still can't win. So this was my week for the draft in this league. I left 12 points on the bench. He hit the seat. So that is really where I lost the game. Jesus and Colomuani didn't do nothing. Rice didn't give me nothing extra for once. And I went with Gehi starting in the Man City game. Not really sure why I did that. Not sure why I put Henderson in there either. So look at all those points, man. I would have won this easily. And I just made some bonehead choices. So I have to blame myself there and nobody else. But we're struggling, people. We're down in mid-table, 6th position, 21 points from 16 games. Not good enough. Now we go to Crystal Ball FC. That's another one. This is like my family, basically, and a couple family friends. And I'm in second here, about 13 points behind, so not too bad. And this week, I had 54 points. That's very good in draft. So nothing from my defenders. So you can say I must have gotten everything from the attackers. Rogers, Sherky, Minte, Wilson, Enzo, Mateta, Yakare. So really just Wilson, Rogers, and Sherky. Those 3 players. I bench Virgil because wasn't sure. And of course, on another day, at least Timber gets the clean sheet. I think Skelly would have come on too late. But how was I to know that Arteta was gonna do that madness? And then Yakins, this is my other league, way behind, 100 and not behind, but I was way behind. I was like in sixth place for the longest. So taking my time moving up, people, and just gonna chip away and chip away and chip away. I'm gonna get back to the top of this damn table. Watch. But this is a big week for me. Roof started, didn't bench him like an idiot here. Thiago, Nkapie, and O'Reilly, Saka, Shirky, and Rogers in this league, plus Evan Nielsen start in this one. Still didn't, so I was just determined to not get Cucurella points. I bench him in every damn league. But yeah, that's pretty much it, people. That's the fantasy roundup, how my teams did this week. So we'll be back here on Friday for more EPL preview content. Until then, hope you guys stay safe. As we get close to this holiday period, just know that the best gift of all is your presence with your family. So don't stress out too much over all these gifts. If it can't work for you this year, you guys just let the people them know how that go. And if them truly love you, it won't be about gifts. It will be about you being able to be around them. All right. So people, big up on yourself. And when you don't know, say back off, Debo. We don't know, say I really, really thoroughly enjoyed bringing yeah, man, we like that. Nobody make on yourself get no money and start this each other. Just know if you lose, you donate to the channel. Yeah, man, that's true, man. Red Skull are one of the best idea that me ever see you make yet. If you don't have 500 to donate to the Hurricane Relief Fund, then you are so asked. Yo, how that drop you to be in Arsenal, bro? Jaja. Yo. Yo, I don't know how that's gonna be worked out between you guys, but hey, we can continue this on Friday. Dexter Baker. Just make sure you tap up that notification bell, and if you have time, bro, forward again, man. The banter was nice. And when I don't know, I am Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. And Arteta, stop being afraid of your shadow, my boss. Big up.